from America's 51st state. It's your daily dose of inedible biz nuggets. Joined as always by excessive Emma Lurking and majestic Matt Moscardi.
Damn.
I'm
I got the
medium
mean
rare,
adjective
even
today.
though I ordered medium well. Today in our
myopic
corduroy bag of
yesterday.
nuggets called December 7th, 2021. Kooky billionaire behavior, Instagram pretend to do stuff, the confusion of Wells Fargo CEO Charles Schar, sexual innuendo. Oh no, we're not doing that one. CEO jumping off burning ships, and a newly appointed CEO that makes all the other CEOs I make fun of seem like really great CEOs.
Woo! I like that excitement.
Here we go. Start with some billionaires. Emma, your favorite. Billionaire Michael Steinhardt surrenders 180 pieces of stolen artwork worth $70 million. Receives first ever lifetime ban from acquiring antiquities.
Why, if you are a billionaire, do you need to steal the artwork?
Yeah, we're already in an Indiana Jones
That's my
movie here.
question.
This is part of our OK billionaire news category. The DA said for decades Michael Steinhardt displayed a rapacious appetite for plundered artifacts without concern for the legality of his actions, the legitimacy of the pieces he bought and sold, or the grievous cultural damage he wrought across the globe.
Rot.
But who could have seen this coming? How can our art lovers, billionaires, and philanthropists also be bad people? Let's begin our demonstration with a creepy love story, shall we? Steinhardt met his wife, Judy, in a carpool where he mentioned the grain elevator company Colorado Milling and Grain Elevator. Judy mentioned the company to her father, who invested in the company and made a substantial profit after Colorado Milling was acquired by Great Western Sugar. Stock tips are an aphrodisiac. Who knew? What else? Steinhardt and his hedge fund, Steinhardt Partners, were investigated and fined for trying to manipulate the short-term treasury note market in the early 1990s.
Artwork.
Steinhardt's father, known as Red McGee, was convicted of buying and selling stolen jewelry and was sentenced to serve 10 to 20 years in prison.
I feel like if your name is Red McGee, that's a requirement when you go to prison.
Steinhardt said his father bankrolled his early forays into the stock market by giving him envelopes stuffed with $10,000 in cash. And
Just like all
that
good fathers
Steinhardt's
do.
education at Wharton was paid with illicit funds. It's like the Olivia Jade of the hedge fund world.
What? It's not exactly Thomas
Steinhardt is also a notorious sexual harasser. It had been a practice at Hillel International for no female employee to have meetings with Steinhardt alone. Steinhardt once apologized for this by saying, "If I had been told immediately about concerns regarding anything I said at the time, I would have apologized immediately." As of March 2019, 6 more women have claimed that Steinhardt had made sexual requests of them. You're welcome, America. Another one of your beloved billionaires is miraculously avoiding jail time. So it's a win. It's a win for America.
Well, let's dial it back on beloved billionaires, because a simple photo of Steinhardt would actually make you not think he's that beloved. He looks a little like all of the things you described. Like he literally looks like he is the physical description of all those things. But let's get off of billionaires and let's talk about something way sadder. America Airlines CEO. Now, hopefully you have your tissues ready. Doug Parker is set to retire. President Robert Isom will take the reins on March 31st. This is proof that governance no longer matters. After 9 years at the helm of America Airlines, CEO Doug Parker announced he's stepping down and will enter the CEO graveyard with an epitaph that reads, "Doug Parker managed to spend more than $12 billion in stock buybacks from 2014 to 2019, saving $0 for the company before asking for $9 billion from the U.S. government during the pandemic. RIP. The stock was up 2.5% in early trading on the news, but proof that governance has also died along with Doug Parker. His replacement, Robert Isom, begins his tenure as CEO with the same kind of oversight that Dougie had. Matt Hart, The chair of the audit committee was also on the board of America West Airlines, where Isom worked. Good. Friends for life. They're already there. Ray Robinson, who's on the board, has been flagged not once, but twice for serving on boards of companies that went bankrupt, one of which was America Airlines' old parent company, which had to declare bankruptcy. Ray actually sits on the, quote, Public Responsibility Committee.
Ooh, artwork.
And the Finance Committee. There's a guy who knows finance. He joins Doug Steeland, who sits on the Compensation Committee, who was the CEO of Northwest Airlines, that also declared bankruptcy.
Nice.
Steeland also sits on the Delta Board of Directors with a guy named Richard Anderson, who sat on the Medtronic Board of Directors with Denise O'Leary, who sits on the American Airlines Board of Directors. Susan Kronick, who's the chair of the Nominating Committee, sits on the Hyatt Board with Mackie McDonald. That is a fake name. I want to pause for a second and say Mackie McDonald is the person's name.
Fred
Sits on
McGee.
the board. Mackie sits on Kraft Heinz with John Cahill, who sits on American Airlines Board of Directors. Marty Nesbitt, who worked at GMAC for a spell, where they also went bankrupt, where new CEO Robert Isom led the restructuring at the same time when they declared bankruptcy. 2 of the board members went to MIT, 2 went to Columbia, 2 went to Harvard. There are only 12 board members. You see where I'm going with this? Congratulations to Robert Isom for continuing a long tradition of white dudes who know each other, making sure that you can declare bankruptcy in a safe space. Good job. Congratulations.
Well, a lot of nice failing up. I like it. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, it's good to know that if you're a white dude, that you can bankrupt one company and then get hired to bankrupt another one because you did such a good job bankrupting the first one.
But what about plundering art and sexually harassing? And you can do that too, Emma.
Look,
sorry, I didn't
opportunity
mean
you have.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to pigeonhole them. They can do both.
Thank
I'm
you, thank
sorry.
you.
Moving on. This Wednesday, Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri will receive a verbal thrashing from a Senate subcommittee regarding whistleblower data outlining the damage Instagram does to teenagers' health. And as a former teenager damaged by Instagram, I'm very happy to report that the damage transfers over to your 20s very smoothly. Thank you, Instagram.
Thank God.
The day before Mosseri's testimony, aka today, Instagram released a blog post detailing their plans to mitigate the issues that Instagram poses for teens. Some of these new features are as follows. First up is the take a break feature, which will notify users when they've been on the app for a certain length of time. The super cool thing about how this feature works on Instagram is that it's optional. The soon-to-be damaged teen has to actively go into their settings and turn it on. Doesn't that sound like it's going to work really, really well? Yeah, me
It's
too.
already working. I feel better.
Next, a new tool that will allow users to delete content in bulk is supposed to be an easier way for teens to manage their digital footprint.
No.
I think I'm going to call it the whoopsie-daisies. I might get my college acceptance rescinded if anyone sees that button. And finally, the final new feature is a tool intended to nudge teens away from topics they've been dwelling on for a while. And if Instagram wanted to prove that they know absolutely nothing about the adolescent mind, they really succeeded with this gem of an idea. Because here's how that feature is going to pan out. Step 1, teenager is looking at plastic surgery accounts for an hour. Step 2, Instagram nudges them towards a new topic. Step 3, teenager dismisses notification. Step 4, teenager cackles maniacally while scheduling a consultation for a facelift. It goes that fast. Teenagers will not do what you tell them to do, which we should not have to tell Instagram. Well, if I haven't already sent you headfirst into a Facebook-induced depression, you'll get another shot at it because in a second, there's going to be an Instagram part 2 coming your way. Wake me up when Matt and Damien are done talking. Thank you.
Oh, what is this, the Debbie Downer episode? That was Emma Lurking and Damian Rollis, and I am going to go look at facelifts for the next hour and hopefully get nudged in the right direction. We are Free Float Media. This was Business Pants. This was Matt, was there one more? Oh wait,
Matt's currently ending the show prematurely.
Oh,
Matt, what did that do to you? That ruined you so much that
I wanted to be
you want to get out of here.
I wanted to be over. I just wanted to be done.
This is insight into Matt Mascardi. Since he has no more stories left, he's bailing out.
I'm just
All right,
that
Matt, go to
story
sleep.
made me finish. I'm
All
done.
right, you
And
can
there's
turn it
even
off.
more for you in a
Emma
second.
and I Emma and I have a few more things to say. Let's actually this will cheer you up maybe a little bit, Matt.
Maybe.
First woman to lead New York Stock Exchange will step down, but there's good news. Stacey Cunningham will be Stacey Cunningham will be replaced by international exchange executive Lynn Martin, who has been leading the company's fixed income and data services business. Yeah, you heard that right. A woman is being replaced by a woman.
What?
What?
That never happens.
Wells Fargo CEO
I'm
Charles
back in.
Scharf.
I'm back in. Let's do it. All right.
Wells Fargo CEO Charles Scharf commented that, quote, while it might sound like an excuse, the unfortunate reality is that there is a very limited pool of female talent to recruit from. We found 3 women for our board, and I tell you, I consider it a goddamn miracle.
I love it when he goes on the record.
Welcome back to Instagram News Part 2.
Oh, come on. Now I'm going to end the show after this one.
For most sane people, Instagram's noble efforts to protect our precious children from the horrors of the internet leave something to be desired. But turns out there's a pretty large cohort of insane people who are displeased with Instagram's efforts too, including Miss Misogyny herself, Marsha Blackburn. The Republican senator from Tennessee actually commented on Instagram's new measures ahead of Masseri's hearing. She said that the move by Instagram will, and I quote, do little to substantively make their products safer for kids and teens, but my colleagues and I see right through what they are doing. Agreeing with Marsha, I grovel at the white man's feet, Blackburn, is a little disconcerting, but I really can't find fault with that statement. And that right there might prove that hating Facebook and its subsidiaries is the only true bipartisan issue of our time. I might even expand upon that sentiment and dub Facebook to be the most globally unifying company of the modern era. The list of people that hate Facebook is long and diverse. Climate activists, fascists, communists, white supremacists, leftists, oil lobbyists, conspiracy theorists, academics, vegans, crypto asshats, Swifties, and everyone in between has an issue with Facebook, and I think that's kind of beautiful.
I like that you snuck in asshats. I didn't know asshat was a
She's referring to me. Finally, let's end with some more good news, Matt. Devin Nunes, we've become very Rachel Maddow tonight. It's very exciting. Devin Nunes resigns from Congress to become CEO of Trump's media company. Nunes, the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee, will start as CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group in January. Why is this good news? Because Nunes, who thinks inheriting a dairy farm makes him a dairy farmer, will begin his new career despite having no apparent prior experience working in the tech industry or as an executive. His only qualification appears to be his Presidential Medal of Freedom, given to him by his future boss. The announcement came after it was revealed that the SPAC that plans to merge with Trump's company is being investigated by the SEC because they're not entirely sure who the actual investors are of this 21st century social dairy media farm. Again, why is this good news? Because earmuffs, climate crisis, failure smells like fake CEO dairy cow farts.
Oh, nice. Now do I have to end the show? Now I'm filling up again.
Yes.
That was Damian Morales and Emma Lurking again. Now I don't wish I was dead. And we are Free Float Media. This is Business Pants, your daily dose of dairy cow fart nuggets. Come back tomorrow for a few more cow farts. Goodbye.